Hello everyone, welcome to Aristo's virtual learning series. With our previous modules, we have covered one of the major promising portfolio, that is antibiotic. Now, with this module, we are going to start another promising portfolio of our GI brands. So friends, as soon as we heard about GI tract or digestive system, one can imagine delicious, tasty, mouth-melting foods. Nowadays, our WhatsApp status window is look like food mall show window because of certain challenges. So, have you ever wondered about the fate of food which you have? Once food enters in our mouth, all our organs of digestive system jump into action to start the process of digestion. So prior moving the actual process of digestion, let's first revise the parts of GI tract. We already covered the basic part of our digestive system with our very first module of anatomy and physiology. So this is the picture of digestive system, and digestive system comprises of organ like mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, anus. Along with this, there are some accessory organs such as salivary glands, liver, pancreas and gallbladder, which facilitates the process of digestion. Let's focus on journey of food in GI tract. Journey of food starts with ingestion of food, which means process of eating. Then the downward movement of food along with the digestive tract takes place, which is known as motility or peristaltic movement. Then this food undergone the process of digestion, that is breakdown of food. And digestion majorly takes place in the organ stomach and small intestine. Then the nutrient from digested food gets entry into the body with process of absorption, and the process of absorption occurs at small intestine. Post absorption, the undigested food material processed further for elimination, and this process is called as defecation. Now let's understand the process of digestion in detail. Term digestion refers to breakdown of complex food we have into the simple form, which will be easily utilized by our body post absorption. This breakdown of food is by means of both, that is mechanical digestion as well as chemical digestion. Mechanical digestion is the process of physically breaking down the food into smaller pieces with the help of mastication, that is chewing of food, and muscles movement, that is churning movement. Whereas chemical digestion is the process of break down small food particles into simpler molecules, and digestive enzymes along with acid plays a vital role for chemical digestion. What are the digestive enzymes? Digestive enzymes are naturally secreted down the digestive tract. Digestive enzyme possesses the ability to break food and convert this food molecule into nutrients. And afterwards, these nutrients are taken in by the bloodstream with the process of absorption. Let's sum up these digestive enzymes and organ responsible for their secretion. So salivary glands, which are situated in our oral cavity or mouth, and the term which we call saliva is mainly enriched with the presence of salivary amylase, which is also known as ptyalin, and lingual lipase. Then stomach, which is the major organ for digestion, is able to secrete or produce enzymes like pepsin and gastric lipase. whereas pancreas as an accessory organ is responsible for secretion of pancreatic amylase and pancreatic lipase, which will be poured thereafter into small intestine. And small intestine on its own is also responsible for the secretion of digestive enzyme like maltase, lactase and sucrase. So we human beings are able to produce these digestive enzymes which will play a vital role in the process of digestion. So friends, the homely food which we eat as sabzi, roti, cereals, dal chawal, vegetables, fruits. So it ultimately provides us macronutrient as that of carbohydrate, proteins and fats along with micronutrients such as vitamins and minerals. Now let's understand the digestive process of this major food substrate as protein, fats and carbohydrates. Whatever we eat in our breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, it contains major food substrate as protein, fats and carbohydrates. So let's understand the process of their digestion. For protein digestion, we require the help from enzyme pepsin. So pepsin is the digestive enzyme which is secreted by stomach. So the digestion of protein takes place in stomach and it is with the help of pepsin. Whereas for the digestion of fat, we require an enzyme, digestive enzyme lipase, may it be your lingual lipase or pancreatic lipase. So the fat digestion majorly takes place in stomach as well as small intestine, and that is with the help of digestive enzyme lipase. Whereas carbohydrate, which is the major micronutrient which we have in our food, so carbohydrates are digested with the help of amylase. So the digestion of this carbohydrate starts even in a oral cavity with the help of salivary amylase, but the major digestion of carbohydrate takes place in small intestine, and that is first initial part, that is duodenum. And for digestion of carbohydrate we require digestive enzyme amylase. Whenever due to some reasons there is imbalance in the process of digestion of these macronutrients, it will lead to some digestive disorders. One of the most common digestive disorder is indigestion. So let's understand this indigestion in detail. My simple question, what is indigestion? Is it a big disease? So, no. Indigestion is not a disease, but rather some symptoms we experience including abdominal pain and feeling of fullness soon after we start eating. An upset stomach is a general term that describes discomfort in your upper abdomen. One of the common terms which we use in the positioning of our brands, that is dyspepsia, and dyspepsia is nothing but indigestion due to hyperacidity. If you break this word dyspepsia, dys means no, pepsia represents pepsin. So whenever there is hyperacidity because of which pepsin will not work properly and it leads to indigestion. So dyspepsia is indigestion due to hyperacidity. What are the symptoms of indigestion? One of the most common symptom of indigestion is fullness syndrome. Let's take an example. If Mr. Madhu in daily routine is able to eat 4 chapatis in lunch, but if he is suffering from indigestion, even after eating 1 chapati, he will get the symptom or fullness of the stomach. This is known as fullness syndrome. Then epigastric pain is the common complaint which is representation of discomfort in area of our upper abdomen, and sometimes patient may feel pain in the abdominal region. Then abdominal bloating is another symptom which refers to the retention of gases mainly in stomach, so that patient feels stomach is distending, stomach swells and feels full. Some patients may experience nausea, and very rarely some patients may experience belching. What are the causes of imbalance which leads to indigestion? So the first cause is change in dietary patterns. In today's life, we are having untimely food. We are prone to fast eating, overeating. We tend to have more spicy food, fatty foods. And if we consume too much caffeine and alcohol in our food, then it may lead to indigestion. One of the factor is lifestyle. Today's lifestyle is full of stress and anxiety, which will ultimately lead to indigestion. Then the digestive enzyme secretion is decreased with growing age, and because of which most of the elderly persons are experiencing indigestion. Indigestion is a common complaint of elderly people. Then there is a presence of concomitant disorders because of which the functioning of digestive tract or indigestion is hampered. Then because of these diseases, we are taking certain medications such as antibiotic, pain relievers, iron supplements, which ultimately hinder in the process of digestion. Then one of the major reason is dietary shift. The change in the meal pattern. The meal pattern is changed from homely food to fast food, junk foods, or now the trend is there for having too much salads. And with this, there is high content of cellulose in our meal. And friends, what we eat has to be digested well. And for the digestion, we require digestive enzymes. But if I talk about cellulose, so humans don't have any enzyme naturally present in their body which will digest cellulose. So friends, if we are eating the food which my body is not able to digest, then ultimately we will land up in a critical situation like indigestion. So who can experience indigestion? Indigestion can affect anyone and everyone, right from children to elderly persons. So let's understand reason behind this risk of indigestion in this population. If I talk about children, so immature digestive system may be one of the prominent reason, and another reason is change in the dietary pattern, that is having most of the fast food, junk food and spicy food is the reason which leads to indigestion in children. If I talk about adult, so adults which are officials, executives, so their life is really very at fast pace, fast life and busy schedule, because of which their dietary pattern is not proper. They are eating too fast, they are eating untimely, they are full of stress, and their lifestyle, if I look at, is a sedentary lifestyle. So there is not much physical activity, and these reasons contribute to the indigestion. Whereas in elderly patient, elderly diabetic patient, if I talk about, so age is the prominent factor which leads to insufficiency of digestive enzymes. Then these elderly populations are taking various medications which puts a hurdle in the process of digestion, limitations in the process of digestion, and elderly population there is a lack of physical activity. If I talk about elderly diabetic patient, so in elderly diabetic patient there is abnormal metabolism of this macronutrient as starch, fat, proteins. Then the condition is like gastroparesis condition. So this gastroparesis in elderly diabetic, it is a condition that affect stomach muscles and prevent proper stomach emptying, which ultimately leads to slower digestion, and that is indigestion. Then The next group is the patients of post-operative convalescence. So in these patients who are recovering from any major surgery, there is decreased physical activity. Patients are lying down in a supine position on the bed and they are consuming too much medications. So all these factors leads to the indigestion. These patients are also undergoing the stress which will disturb the normal human enzymes. Then one of the prominent population for indigestion are pregnant women. First of all, there are various hormonal changes and hormonal level are really very high which will affect the digestion. And another part is the growing fetus puts back pressure on the abdomen. So these are the reasons why indigestion is common in this population. So in this module, we talk about indigestion. We understand the reason behind indigestion, symptoms of indigestion, and we know that indigestion is not restricted to particular age group. It can happen from children's to elderly persons. So in next module, we will focus on how to get rid of this indigestion. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.